From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.
Good morning. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Wednesday, November 19th. We start off this morning with breaking news into our newsroom. Dayton Raiola, the brother of Huskers starting QB Dylan Raiola, has announced his decommitment from the Nebraska football program. Reposted on his Instagram story with the text, God's Plan, QB Dayton Raiola reposted a link from a Rivals article, an account self-titled on social media as the, quote, the original recruiting brand since 2000. Dayton Raiola was committed to Nebraska in September of 2024. He currently plays for Buford High School. The announcement comes just 2 weeks out from signing day. Now, this is a developing story, so be sure to stick with us at 1011 Now as we work to learn more. And speaking of developing, we are still working to learn more about a serious crash from yesterday afternoon in Southwest Lincoln. First responders went to the intersection of Southwest 23rd and West South Streets for a crash between a motorcycle and a car just after 2:30 yesterday. According to police, at least one person was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Now, it's still unclear what led up to the crash and who was hurt, but the roadway wasn't opened back up until hours later after the crash, around 6 p.m. Your third story this morning in Odo County, a mother and son, Tina and Michael Trimble, are facing charges after deputies found 26 pounds of cocaine after a traffic stop last week on Highway 2 near Nebraska City. According to the Odo County Sheriff's Office, the car was pulled over due to a partially covered Florida license plate. The Trimbles told deputies they were on their way to Las Vegas. The affidavit says they later searched the car, finding bricks of cocaine and $7,000 in cash. Tina's bond has been set at $4 million and Michael's at $5 million. Your fourth story, the School Finance Review Commission is working to finalize the draft of its first report to the unicameral. Among the findings, state sources have become a bigger contributor to school funding, more than 50%. And with Nebraskans paying roughly $600 million less in property taxes, thanks to changes in the legislature last session, former Nebraska State Treasurer Tom Breezy says the state will need to find new sources of revenue while also finding ways to lower the cost of education. Phase 2 involves developing specific policy recommendations, and we've got a link to the draft report on our 1011 Now app. And wrapping things up with your final story this morning with recent deadly crashes we've seen around Lincoln, two of which were just in the last couple of weeks involving a 42-year-old woman and a 61-year-old, respectively. We caught up with LPD to talk about pedestrian safety. Sergeant Sarah Genoways says Lincoln has seen 6 deadly pedestrian crashes so far this year, and the sergeant adds for safety tips, regardless of who has the right of way, both drivers and pedestrians need to be alert around crossings, where reflective clothing being important, especially as we see less and less daylight around this time of year. Make sure cars are slowing or stopping before you cross, and to always stay alert as a driver. Some good advice there, especially with these deadly incidents. That's going to be your morning pulse for this Wednesday morning. We'll wrap things up with a look at your 7-day forecast. Other than cloudy days, it's looking pretty regular for this season.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Sponsored by Murray Roofing.